What?
What you've been looking for.
Come on, we got it.
We did it.
Guys, what's up? Brick Legends here, and over Christmas break, me and my brothers decided to build something huge for you guys. It has 6 32 by 32 base plates, all stuck together with little pins. It has 1,348 of these little transparent blue tiles to cover the water up. It has over 30 different mini build locations. So how did we build these? Well, we started with a base level of water and covered it with transparent blue water to make it look even nicer and more water-like. Then for the land, we have some parts that are just sand green, some parts that are light green. We made the land have a lot of different terrain on it. We also wanted to get the shape of this right. We wanted it to actually look like what it does in the show, what the world looks like. So we each took a 32 by 32 base plate and started working on it. We finally got done. I had to order like 300 extra little transparent blue pieces, but we did finally finish it. We labeled every single one of them with custom stickers that I made. The red print on the labels means it's an island. The yellow print on labels means it's a city or village or something like that. Orange label means it's a biome like the toxic bogs. And then the blue means it's a location. And let's get started up here in the corner with Tiger Widow Island. This island, I actually created this. It's fun to build. I wanted to add like all the stuff from Skybound that you see in it. So you've got the Tiger Widow spider. And I used a little miniature spider. You have a little temple, which is pretty fun to build. One fun thing for the terrain here for the mountain, I used a piece of bread just to make the mountain look a little more organic, I guess. Pretty. And then for the trees, I used green hot dogs for the tree trunks, and then for the leaves, I put on some little green leaves that look perfect. I also added a little bridge that they go across. Let's move on to the School for Bad Boys. School for Bad Boys comes early on in Ninjago. So this is on a little bit of a mountain. And the way I made this is I used sand green pieces mainly, a couple of tan brick pieces for the bottom. But if you take this top part off, you can see how I made the walls. I used sand green tiles and put them around a 1x1 stud with studs coming off all sides. Then we have huge Ninjago City. This is probably the biggest place here. A bunch of little buildings and a bunch of big buildings. We've got Borg Tower here standing tall. It's not quite as big as the one I built earlier this year. And then we have Darius Mojo Dojo, the noodle shop, and in the middle you have the Titanium Ninja statue. We have some docks going across, and yeah, I like this Ninjago City. Let's move on to the Temple of Erjitsu. The Temple of Erjitsu is actually floating in the sky on this little floating island. I put an orange tree beside it. And yeah, I'm pretty happy how this Temple of Erjitsu turned out. Now for the Samurai X cave. I didn't actually make the cave itself. I made the dragon skeleton. For the skeleton, I used this big headpiece. I really thought it worked good. For this whole desert, I actually built it sideways, so I stacked pieces up. So I was able to use some unique building styles to make the rib cage. So for Cryptarium Prison, I really like the octagon shape of that. That was my brother's idea. He gave it to me. I was like struggling building. I know. It's me. I build amazing stuff. But yeah, this looked pretty bad, and he gave me the idea of using this silver spider web. So Cryptarium Prison, thumbs up. My brother had a genius idea, and I really liked it. Makes it look perfect. Then we have the scrapyard, Edna's junkyard. I used a unique piece. It's from a Hero Factory, and it's a really nice piece. You wrap it around, and it looks like a fence around the junkyard. I put a bunch of tires. I put their little home in there, and yeah, overall, a little nice scrapyard that I'm pretty happy with. Then we have the Quarter of Elders, pretty basic takes place in Tournament of Elements. That's where Chen and his army go in, but all the elemental masters are there to fight him. And yes, that's the Quarter of Elders right there. Then we have Jamadakai Village. We have kind of a mountain range. Little houses. I used these little like roof tile pieces and then a little red 1x1 for the house. Really cute. I like how it turned out. Next up is the Wailing Alps from season Possession. I'm a Ninjago nerd. The Wailing Alps is where the ninjas go to get to Cloud Kingdom. They go through this portal, cloud portal thing. I used a superhero blast piece for the cloud with a donut, tile, and some transparent pieces. A couple little houses along the edge that are abandoned. Then we have Pyro Pyramid. This is from more recent Ninjago from Season 11, Forbidden Spinjitzu. This is where Asphira and all her mummy snakes come from, this pyramid. My brother helped me again because I was struggling. He showed me a cool technique. So I got these angle pieces and put a hinge on it and just angled them in on 4 different sides. Then we have the City of Styx. It's right over here, built on the ocean. So that was a lot of fun to make. 3 of my favorite buildings I'll get out here. I'll show you kind of how I did it. So this first one is like a nugget color with some dark blue jumper plates for the roof. I like making that. And then we have a crane using one of those new Monkey Kid spider leg pieces and an ink pot to attach it. And then we have a little house that's a teal headlight brick and a bunch of other little simple houses built onto the water. And then we have the Boiling Sea. This one you might not remember, but it is from season, I don't know, season 7, Hands of Time maybe? But Kai and Nia go there to get the fusion sword, I think. I'm not sure. Or maybe a time blade, maybe. I don't know. I'm not that big of a Ninjago nerd. But the Boiling Sea is there. I put a ring of rock kind of coming up along it and then some fire, and looks very boiling. I would not recommend jumping in there. Then we're going to move down to this area right here. We have Hiroshis Labyrinth. This is where Lloyd and Garmadon go in Season 3 Rebooted. The way I made some of these trees is I got a little, like Aaron from Next Night, his little bolt piece that was in his gun in gray, stuck that onto a little mixel joint, and that way you can angle it whichever angle you want. Hiroshis Labyrinth right there. A nice little mountain with some green and pink leaves on it. And down the hill is Steep Wisdom, one of the cutest, most relaxing places in Ninjago. For the top of the little tea shop, I actually used a teapot in blue for the sign, and it works. It looks like perfect. And a couple other buildings along the sides. Then let's move on to the Monastery Spinjitzu. My brother built this, and I think it is, it's got a little bridge going over and a little path you can follow up to the monastery, and the monastery is definitely the best part of this. It's built so very small, but so much detail put into it. Little did Kai know that all his life he was growing up right at the foot of the Monastery Spinjitzu. But hey, we had to put 4 weapons somewhere. This little Kai's blacksmith shop was my brother built it, and for the water what's that thing called? In like water tower? For the water tower, my brother used a little stick with 2 1x1 dots with holes in them and put them the opposite directions onto the stick and then put a little 1x1 tile on top. And it looks perfect, just like a water tower would look. And then a little Kai's blacksmith shop. Then we have Mega Monster Amusement Park. One of the most genius miniature builds in this. It's actually using a rubber band to make the track that the roller coaster goes around, and I think that is just a genius idea. The loop-de-loop is made with a light floaty piece with some red clips on it for the carts that are going on the track. And then there's a little sky wheel up in the sky spinning around, and a couple of concession stands. Then Oroborus is another great build. The way my brother made it look like a hexagon is he used these little 1x1 dots with a stud through them and then put the brick piece on top at an angle, and that works perfectly to make miniature Oroborus. And then you have the middle like lollipop shape. Let's move on to the toxic bogs. For the trees, I used brown hands, stuck them on a pole like 3 or 4, and it looks like dead trees kind of just sitting there. So we made a couple of those and put them on. Then we have the fire temple. Pine tree is pretty easy to make. You just use a bunch of green slopes, and yeah, looks perfect. And then for the volcano, it's oozing out lava all over the place, and you have the little miniature fire temple. Pretty basic build there. Let's move on. We have Shintaro Mountain here. The top of Shintaro Mountain is, my brother built it very, very coolly, because that's a word I'm pretty sure. For the buildings, he used all sorts of pieces. You have golden lanterns, you have stud shooters, you have golden skis, you have golden spears, golden unicorn horns, all sorts of little detail pieces. So, props to my brother for making Shintaro Mountain. I really like it. On the other side, we have the Caves of Despair. We made a couple of those little like skeleton outpost things using a white lightsaber handle with a purple dot on top. And then around back, we have Margarets Monastery. This is... I can't think of all these names from episode 2 of Rebooted. This is Margarets Monastery. It's got a waterfall coming down, a little river, a little water paddle, and perfect little monastery right there. Going across the mainland onto Chens Island, we have a nice gate area here. The trees along the side are actually made with a bunch of hair pieces that we have in green. And then we have a couple little buildings down here on the side, and a little pink tree that they fight on in the Tournament of Elements. And they also have the volcano that Kai and Ash fight on in the Tournament of Elements. So moving on down this way, this whole area is a bunch of water. Down here we've got Dyer Island, a small little building that comes in Season 12. The ninjas go to Dyer Island. Then we have, my little brother made the Island of the Keepers. He made a cloud belt around it, which I really like, with some lightning coming down. And then the island itself, it's a volcano and the Keepers little village area. We have Destiny's Bounty sailing on the ocean. There's no question, it's the best like part of Ninjago, okay? And I'll show you how to build it with this quick speed build. There you go. Now you know how to build a miniature Destiny's Bounty. Your life is that much better. You're welcome. And then last but not least, well, kind of least, maybe, yeah, we have the Lighthouse. Pretty fun build here. We have the big Kraken coming out of the water. This little lighthouse, for the door, I actually stacked up 4 plates and put them in for the steps. I use teeth piece, and it makes awesome stairs. So I think that's it. So guys, super excited for 2022. I'm going to be building a bunch of new mocks, and I can't wait for you guys to join me. Hope you have a great year, and see you in my next Brick Legends build. Oh yeah, peace.